Hi, this is Maggie with Traction Tools. Today we're going to go over the functionality of the accountability chart. So we'll click AC in the black banner. And now we have a view of our accountability chart. Now some basic functionality here. If you ever need to add other users, add more boxes, you'll find that there's a plus that appears underneath each one of these boxes. So if I click the plus here under the Visionary Vic Hightower, we can now add a new function, an employee, that will be a direct report of Vic. Now, if we wanted to add somebody to the top of the chart, we can just use Swan Services here and click the plus. Now let's add somebody under our integrator, Eileen Sharp. So here we can use a function that already exists, and we can also create a new one. So if I put in admin 4, that doesn't exist in the system yet, so we can use this option to create function. You'll notice that if you click away and it is not saved, it will turn red. If you hover over it, it will let you know that it's invalid. So we do always have to click create function and confirm our choice from the drop down. Now here we can add an employee. We can create a brand new user, or we can select somebody that already exists in the system. Now if I were to add a new person here, we'll use myself. We're going to click create user. And now I can either choose to add my email address and have Maggie Marks be part of Traction Tools, or we can set her as a placeholder user. So if I set her as a placeholder user, you can see that the email becomes optional. We'll click OK. And now she's added to the accountability chart, but is not sent an invite into Traction Tools. So that's a great way to fill out your accountability chart without having everybody as a user on your account. We can also clean up some of these roles here. There's a little X icon to the right of each one of these. And you'll notice that every time that I use the function admin, those roles follow. So the roles are tied to the function title. So now if I wanted to distinguish between those roles, then we can create a brand new admin, just giving it a differentiating character. And now we can add separate roles here. So I just clicked the plus here on the right to add our first bullet point. And now that I have my first role, I can click enter to continue adding. And you can of course still use the plus as well. Now, a great new feature that we have is the ability to print by department. So you can hover over any one of these boxes and you'll find this printer icon. So if I click on this printer icon under operations, it'll ask me if I want to print all children or only visible. So if I clicked only visible, it would only print operations with Tom Bridgewater. If I select all children, it's going to give us all of the direct reports. Now there might be several departments under operations. We can choose to print department per page, and that'll have all of the direct reports on a separate page. But for our purposes, I'm just going to scale it to one page, and we'll see how that comes out. And so here we have our operations branch. Now, if any of these people did have direct reports, that is what would be printed onto a separate page. Now, going back to our accountability chart here, some other useful functionality is the ability to delete boxes that you don't need anymore. So I can delete admin 4 here. But now if I try to delete a box that is grayed out, I'm actually not able to do that because there are direct reports listed for marketing right now. But you can delete any box that has turned orange. So if I were to expand marketing, Then we can start deleting these one by one. On the top left, you also have some buttons that will come in handy. So we have our printer icon. We can print our entire chart. You'll see a couple different options here than when we click the printer icon below each box. So now I can print the full chart, or I can print just what's visible on my screen right now. So if I chose only visible, we would not be including the direct reports for sales, finance, operations, and so on. Now if I click to compress the chart, it'll compress that so it prints a little bit nicer for us. We can also scale to one page and print a department per page. You can expand the full chart by clicking the middle button here to expand all. And that'll give us our full chart. We can click and drag to move this around, and we can zoom out using our scroll wheel. We can also use our collapse all, that's the last button here, and that'll collapse the entire chart. And we can always use the drop down arrows below each box to start expanding that manually. And that's all I have for you today on the accountability chart. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. You can use the drop down by your name and your icon, click contact support, fill in your question, and somebody from the client success team will get back to you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.